Hi, I'm Carrie Blazer. On this channel, I explore psychology, trauma healing, and the divine feminine. Please check out my free ebook below if you'd like to go deeper. Now let's get to the clip. Our souls plan our lives based on our wounds for self-improvement opportunities. Let's watch this physics experiment and see how this works.
I want to go back and revisit the high road, low road track. Now, I did a previous video on this, and I had so many questions and comments, I thought it'd be worthwhile to go back and do a few more demonstrations on it and take a closer look. Now, this is a classic physics problem where we have two tracks that start at the same position and end at the same position, but their path from one side to the other is completely different. Now, these balls are able to roll down the tracks, so the question is, if I were to release them simultaneously, which track would get the ball to the opposite side the quickest? Well, let's give it a try. So the shortest distance between 2 points is not necessarily the fastest. What's going on here? Well, we're giving both balls potential energy by lifting them up to a certain position. When I release them, only a small amount of its potential energy is changed into kinetic on this track, so the speed across the track isn't very high. However, on the low road track, I started out at that high position. It drops down, changes that potential energy into kinetic, but then it drops an additional distance, so more potential energy is changed to kinetic, so it's going to cover this distance at a higher speed.
So why is this physics experiment so important? And what does it show us? Most of my life, I was on the parallel track. I didn't know how to go surrender to my fear, guilt, and shame. The feminine is surrender to the emotions, to gain that kinetic moment, the energy, that propulsion, the momentum to climb my next mountaintop. I didn't know how to do that. So I just stayed stuck going flat and parallel in my fear, guilt, and shame. 10 years ago, when my mom passed away on my 45th birthday, is when I started to see shamans and open to the fact that I needed to heal from my childhood wounds, that it was time. And I started to learn how to go into my pain and then come out of my pain. So the first time I really did it on my own was 2 years after I started healing. And that's when my youngest daughter, I have a boy and then 2 girls, we got in an argument and I was wrong and I needed to apologize. And it wouldn't come out of me. So I got off the phone with her and I asked myself, why can't I apologize to my youngest daughter? And this is what I heard. You believe that if you apologize, your loved ones will leave you. And this is where I learned my lesson. I'm like, well, that's not logical. If I apologize, my loved ones will want to stay in a healthy relationship. Okay, so I let go of that subconscious lie that was fueling most of my life until I was 47 years old. Then after that point, every time I made a mistake, I'm human like everybody else. Everybody makes mistakes. The apology would just come out of my mouth in a healthy way, and I never had problems with it again. But until I learned to surrender into my fear, guilt, and shame, and then, learn that wisdom, I wasn't capable, but it wasn't time yet. Right before I healed my lower back pain, when I had my first conversation with my first hero in the book, I received wisdom a couple months earlier that pain is beautiful because it reveals what longs to be healed. And when we create wholeness inside of ourselves, the feminine, the masculine, we accept that our pain is there to teach us lessons. Because if life is convenient and not painful, why change? We only change when life is hard. That's why we need the pain as the catalyst for change. But there's the opportunity for wholeness. Turn the pain into purpose, right? Turn your pain into purpose. The universe is a mirror. We went over this a little bit ago when we saw the 2-prong experiment, but wisdom says the universe is a mirror showing me myself in every moment as a constant feedback loop for self-improvement. Knowledge says we attract what we are through energetic resonance, meaning a vibrational match. And this is one of the main ways that I learned that when something's true, it's true in multiple places. Like the wisdom and the knowledge here are born of the same truth, just expressed differently. One expressed through wisdom and one expressed through knowledge, wisdom being feminine, knowledge being masculine. Changing the world is an inside job. If this resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more conversations about psychology, healing, and the divine feminine, and pick up a free copy of my ebook below. Take care.